And within the last hour, Ethiopia's Transport Ministry has released their preliminary report into the crash last month of an Ethiopian Airlines new Boeing 737 MAX. They found that pilots repeatedly followed procedures recommended by Boeing, but were unable to regain control of the plane. The Transport Minister recommends that Boeing review the aircraft control systems and that the plane be grounded until aviation authorities can confirm that the problem has been solved. Well, Geoffrey Thomas is an aviation expert based in Australia and has been following this story closely. Very good to have you with us here on BBC World News. Is this report coming out of Ethiopia? Is it broadly what you were expecting?
Well, James, it's rather a strange report. First of all, it's very scant on detail. And at the same time, the report itself seems to contradict information that was leaked out apparently, allegedly, from the Ethiopian crash investigators in the last couple of days. And what was leaked out was that the pilots of this aircraft switched off the stabilizer trim, which is as they suggest through the Boeing procedures, but then switched it back on again, which is absolutely not part of the procedures. The tragedy here is the fix for this particular issue is extremely simple. And that is you switch off the stabilizer trim system, 2 switches between the pilots and on the pedestal. Now, if they switched it off, that was the right thing to do. If they switched it on, well, that was the wrong thing to do. So we are getting contradictory information. And unfortunately, the report that we appear to have received in the last hour is very scant on any specifics about what went on in the cockpit, which is of great concern.
Is there a suggestion then that this flight control system may have reactivated itself then without the pilots?
James, I'm sorry, you broke up slightly there.
Geoffrey, I was just asking you, is it possible then, or is the suggestion out of the report today that the flight control system somehow reactivated itself without the pilots doing so?
No, that can't happen, James. The switches that you switch off turn off the electric motor to the stabilizer, so that can't reactivate. To be reactivated, they have to switch the switches back on.
So what seems to have gone wrong based on what we've learnt today then?
That question again, James, sorry?
Yeah, what seems to have gone wrong then, based on what the Ethiopian authorities are saying today?
Well, this is the problem, James. We don't know. The detail is so scant. We were hoping for a lot more detail than this, possibly the cockpit voice recorder information. We haven't got anything other than a general statement saying they followed procedures. And that statement contradicts what was leaked out over the last couple of days, giving more detail about what the pilots did when they switched the system off, then switched it back on again. So this is the problem we're dealing with, is a lack of information and contradictory information.
Geoffrey, many thanks. Geoffrey Thomas, aviation expert based in Australia, and apologies for the line there.